say to yourself, I am more than my physical body. Because I am more than physical matter, I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world. I deeply desire to expand, to experience, to know, to understand, to control, to use such greater energies and energy systems as may be beneficial and constructive to me and to those who follow me. I deeply desire the help and cooperation, the assistance, the understanding of those individuals whose wisdom, development, and experience are equal to or greater than my own. I ask their guidance and protection from any influence or any source that might provide me with less than my stated desires.
I do not know all the answers to the questions about reality. I do not claim to know the ultimate truth about life. I seek that which has been made hidden as a part of a family of explorers of consciousness. I am the void one.
Welcome to Lighting the Void.
Broadcasting live from a shack on a hill in the Mossy Creek bottoms of Cane Creek, Arkansas. This is Lighting the Void live here on Fringe FM. Yeah, KTLK digital broadcasting as well as YouTube. So the radio station is back online. Thanks to all of the people that have helped out, and Gigi threw in too. So we're back online, we're live. If you're listening on YouTube, TalkStream Live, tune in, or if you're listening to the post broadcast, that's fine too. We usually don't broadcast on Monday nights, but I mean, what happened? I'll tell you what happened. I got to this point where I cleaned up the shack. The shack is like in excellent condition. I did all of my daily ritual meditation, daily work. I checked my goals. I checked everything. I did all of the stuff. I did Monroe's thing. Like I made 3 columns. Like, you know, when I played the other night, I made the 3 columns of what's important and what's not and all that. Funny thing is, when I went through it turned out I had a lot more time. So I tried to get online and play video games because I was just completely bored. I went for a walk, did some other stuff today, made a few phone calls, went for a walk, and then I thought, damn, I'm just like bored now that I'm doing this new Monroe kind of, the 3 columns, get your shit together columns. I was spending more time in my head being cluster messed up than I was actually getting stuff done. Turns out. So I figured before I make myself crazy, because I can't meditate for hours upon time, why not just do the Monday night broadcast live and just do it? And thanks to the people in the Telegram, as well as the people in Discord and everybody that's reached out to the show, we also have, I guess we found all of the other Monroe files. What's up, Howard? What's up, Born Not to Run? Did you put it in your oven? Clean your room, Jordan Peterson. Yeah, man. No, I cleaned the whole shack, man. It almost looks habitable in here, you know. It's pretty nice. But I tried to get online earlier on the other channel that I have called Magic Maniac. It's like my gaming channel or whatever. And I tried to play some video games, and it just wasn't working out, you know. Yaya Bonanza with the $9.99. What's up? Thanks, man. Zaya, sorry. Deacon. What's up, Deacon? And so I figured, why not? Let's get back into this Monroe stuff. And like I was saying before, because of like Sudi and other people, we have found and located all of the other Monroe files. Here's the thing, though. 90% of most of it is, it says, magician, why don't you have a wife to keep the house? Dude, that is a long story for an entirely other show. I can't find a wife. Like, here's the thing. I just want, please don't take this the wrong way, ladies, but unless I leave the country, I don't think I'm going to find a wife in the United States. I'm far too traditional. And all I just want is, you know, someone to love me for me, that enjoys me for like being around me for my time, not what I do, not where I'm going, not my bank account, not any of this stuff that we've been taught, you know, today. Like, so that's kind of old. That's a little bit too old school, right? That's more of, I guess that's more of, that's not even, I would say 1930s, maybe 1920s, where people just loved each other because they loved being around each other. Nothing else. Not, oh, where are you going in the future? What status do you have? Or what, how much is your net worth? Or who's your friends? Or any of that shit. Like, that stuff is gone, you know. So until I find a wife like that, not that I'm not dating, I'm always dating, always looking, always playing. But until I find one like that, plus I don't want to bring a woman into this shack, right? Like, that's terrible, you know? Jesus, that's terrible. I at least got to have something better than the shack. I wouldn't do that to any woman. They would hate it here. What is that? Nah, I'm the same. I just want a companion, but I haven't found one. Well, you know, you just got to keep looking. That's the thing, man. You just got to keep looking, right? If you go online, here's the thing that you need to pay attention to when it comes to relationships that most people, I think, don't even think about, right? But all of the happy people that are in relationships are not posting shit online. Nothing. They're enjoying each other's company. And if they are posting stuff online, it's probably like family pictures, cat videos, pictures of their dates, stuff like that. They're not posting anything else. So most of the stuff that you hear from about when it comes to like advice about the heart and things like that online is just from people that are miserable or massively insecure or just trying to shove something down your throat because even the people that are getting laid, like, they still have some kind of aching thing in their heart to find a companion. Everybody does. And if they're lying, most of them are bullshitting you. Even the tough alpha dudes, I've talked to those guys, like, whatever you can tell they call themselves alpha, right? But I've talked to these guys until they break down and cry in front of me, you know, eventually. So the truth is down there. I think most men are driven by, I think this was a philosophical quote, but man in whole is driven by his insecurities. Why don't you do magic for a mate? Nah, don't need to. I've never had to, I don't know about you, but I don't know why you're concerned with it. It's a good question, but I've never had to date. See, all right, you want me to get esoteric about it? I'll tell you how to get esoteric. If you're a guy and you want to find the right girl, you may go through a gaggle of girls till you find the right one. But if you're a guy and you want to find a girl, all you have to do is do what excites you, do what you're passionate about. So when your energy is moving at its highest velocity, the feminine will come around and wrap a circle around it. If you're chasing, dating, doing magic for girls, lusting for results, doing sigil magic, it's not going to help you. You just need to focus on what you want to do and go for it all the way. And the feminine will wrap itself around it. It's a natural law. You don't even have to do magic for it. Anyways, we're going to get back into this. I guess if you really want to know my personal life, I guess you could call me a serial monogamist. I've had a ton of girlfriends, not one have I settled down with. Not yet. So here, back to this though. I haven't found anything that's not like, most of it's channeling, right? Most of it is. I'm not really concerned about the channeling part of it, although I find it quite fascinating, the channeling side of it. It's just, like I said before, channeling to me is like the cryptozoology of the esoteric. I'm not saying it's not real. I just find it a bit harder to grasp than I do everything else, right? Pretty much everything else. So, these are some older files back in the 70s.
Okay, are you ready for some sound, David?
I'm sorry, ready for what?
Some sound.
Yes. Could
and this is all we're going to do tonight. We're just going to chill and
blowing into here. Could you put a little air in?
We're just going to chill and listen to these people claim that they're going to go out of body. If you absolutely want to call in, chime in, whatever you can. 501-777-5631. That phone line is open no matter what's going on in the show. Broadcast, whatever you want to call this tonight. Big shout out to my brother Domek. Before I start this real quick, we need to send our family loves, prayers, high vibrations, everything that you can, and support to the Domeks. They're going through some tough stuff right now. Let's see what we got. I have no idea. I haven't screened any of this.
Into the check or into the box?
Mike says it's on.
Oh, okay.
The hell was that?
Okay, I'm ready for sound.
Now let me know when you begin to hear the breakers. You're hearing them?
Mm-hmm.
And
was that the breaker that made that noise?
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, is that combination about fine?
Yes.
Okay, well we'll do our affirmation and whatever other preparatory processes you use. And do you want to stop at 10 or do you want to go directly to 12?
I'll work my way up there. I'll let you know when I'm in 12.
All right, we'll just wait to hear from you.
By the way, a show of hands. Does anybody have the Gateway experience, the audio downloads?
Yeah, this is session 1611, AUB 7, April 10th, 1986, and Dave Mulvey is the explorer in the booth for this AUB session. Okay, very good. We at this point will want you to reestablish and confirm your intent to go to make a contact with
I'm already getting in trouble.
Identified at this point.
You guys got me. Listen, don't be asking me about my personal life anymore on the air because I just vomit. So I'm already getting text messages. All right, I'm already in trouble.
120. Our previous contacts have been in what appeared to be a laboratory type setting, and we have agreed with them to.
Let's just being honest.
Return to talk further with them. They have a homing beacon that they gave us, which I will change now, and there won't be much of a change, but we'll take out some sound and add some, and this will be, according to them, the sound that you can follow. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right. Are you ready to move?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he's going to go to focus
we'll
10.
Wait to hear from you. They'll be taken as you will, and report anything that comes into your field of awareness that you can share with us as we go with you here.
All right. Impressions that I'm getting, which is I'm following the sound and it's giving me some direction. I get a sense that the sound is the signal that they're giving us is good, but it's just sort of an approximation that we can understand that has something to do with the wavelength. They're more used to working with wavelength or energy that's closer to what we would perceive as light, but for our purposes the sound is the path to follow.
Oh, that looks terrible.
Yes, I get the impression that our tools are rather crude, but it was all we could work with.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not even so much our own tools as, at least for a lot of us starting out, the limits of our own perceptions of what our concepts of sound and light are. They work a lot with energy and waveforms that is easiest for us to translate as light. Like even that their laboratory is all, it's structured of, not really physical structure, but its structure is one sort of light waveform, yet the energy they use, that they experiment with, that they do various functions with, is a different intensity of again, light is the best way to describe it.
Oh, right, but we're doing quite well, I think, within the limitations of our word availability to describe the interfacing.
It's sort of like just is from our perception. If our perception was limited to seeing the color red in only one shade, tone, hue, or tint of red, and then for the first time being exposed to all the variations that red can have, where we're only used to seeing one red. It's the same way with the light or the energy forms that they work with. It's just a matter of unfamiliarity, not that our perception can't understand it, but just, as first exposure, it's very new.
Knock.
I keep getting something too that their laboratory had. That there's outside, well, actually a couple of outside sources of, I don't know whether I'd call it the power they use to run everything, but some really intensive beams of light that seem to come in from outside the laboratory directly to tie into their, again, with our terms, what we'd call equipment or technology.
Yeah, that's getting annoying. I'm going to turn that
Can you
thing off.
describe the form in which this information is being received by you?
Well, it's sort of a intuitive. I generally get like a feeling in around the chest area that somehow is translated from there into words, maybe some images. I'm not sure if they come before or after. Just like the beams or the sources of light or energy from outside the laboratory, I see them as almost, well, they're beams, but they're not smooth round beams. They have faceted edges like a crystal would. And again, whether it's more for the feeling first and then perhaps some visual perception, but mostly just translated from there to words.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
All right. So, real quick, I don't know. Do you guys, any of you guys, get out of body enough to where you think that you could do this? Like, I don't. I was doing it this morning. I don't think there's a way in hell that I could speak like what I'm seeing, because I know I'm not asleep. Maybe I just haven't done this enough, but it just seems like it's incredibly hard to speak while you're out of body to whoever's sitting beside you. At least it is for me. I could be wrong though. Like if you guys, like if you know someone that's done this or you could do it, please let me know.
Fine, you're reporting well. We have had some indications from CD 120 that they would very much like to work with us on a project, to join with us in a joint activity or venture. We brought up on our end our wish to do an experiment that would add credibility to the interfacing and the reality of a connection between our two realities. They themselves were amenable to that. They asked us to come up with a suggestion that was completely non-interfering and non-frivolous, and that they would discuss that with us. We have not yet had the inspiration of what that experiment might be, but we plan to bring that to them. We're working on it at this point. You might communicate that to them.
Okay. Well, while you were saying that, I was sort of half listening to you, but I understood what you said, but I also feel like I was getting something back.
See?
That a large part of the process to make any contact experiment successful is a real opening, a willingness to just to explore on this end, to open up and feel comfortable with just really being open to whatever comes across perceptually. And as I was doing that, I was put that intent in the center of my consciousness, and as I say, I tend to get feelings, for lack of a better word, in the chest area, and as I did that, I felt like the consciousness that's in my chest area just really expanded, mostly laterally, somewhat up and down, but laterally out, even beyond this, an opening up. Not anyhow, it's just a perception.
It's consciousness that's in his chest.
Considering from their end as well, what sort of experiments might be best to work from both ends.
Well, if we can get one agreed upon and find a way to describe it to them, I'm sure that they will be cooperative with us and help us make adjustments or whatever we need to do at our end. But they also indicated to us that a change of some sort is approaching, for want of a better term, that would involve their universe, our universe, and a number of other interconnected universes.
It's hard to think. I was 4 years old when Robert Monroe was sitting in his laboratory doing this. April 10th, 1986. Audio's not bad for 1986, right?
It could be distressful was the word that was translated for us there, for these various universes, and that they have been looking for making connections with us and with others, to do something that would result in an easing of this distress, or maximizing the potential of the wave of change. And we need as much clarification of this as we can have in terms of urgency, imminence, in terms of our worldly time, which just seems to be quite different from any other of the realities we contact. Can you explore in that realm?
Well, as you were saying, I get a sense that it's just distressful is not a bad word, but far outweighed by potential benefits to all the levels involved. Yet, as you were saying, Tom, I got something like that. We have a lot of. I just got 4 years, like in terms of our time, that we can play in there. And it could be done sooner, or it could even be stretched out a lot. But I get or not a lot stretched beyond that, but that somewhere in around 4 years, that if we haven't really begun the process strongly, then it would be too late. But it might be real hard to finish the project.
Okay, then it seems to have something to do with a smoother transition versus a rougher transition.
I get that it can happen in a lot of ways, that we could start out slowly and really accelerate in the latter part of that time frame I just mentioned. But the more we can do on the front end, the easier it would be.
All right, we would like to know more than we know about the way in which we might work together with this group, this particular energy. We're told to send out explorers, and we're doing that. Are there any other steps we can be thinking about?
I wonder how they test these beings too. Like, how do you know these beings aren't full of shit, right? Like, how do you test them? How do you know that they're not, like, they're all legit? Now, even Robert Monroe's like, well, we were told this. We're sending explorers out left and right, but we're not getting any information. But in his book, he talks about beings just laughing at him and stuff. So I don't know. I wouldn't trust any of them.
Sort of first of all, just sending out explorers, that came to me before you even said it, to have a number of explorers, like 4, 5, 6 explorers.
Oh, that verification.
Make the same contact. Not a real. I got the idea it was for our benefit, that cross-contamination isn't important except from our own perspective, that explorers themselves might feel comfortable with the validity of the information they're receiving if they can individually find out some correlations in what they're sensing and perceiving there, and therefore give them confidence that they're building strong contacts to cross-check after a set of sessions to compare notes and information. And the more they find correlations in what they perceived as individuals, the more confident they'll all become in what they are picking up. Also, that the time to do that on the intensive basis is here in the lab, but at the same time, explorers involved in this project should be aware of the contact as much as possible. Just whenever they have a spare moment of the day, maybe just not even necessarily fully establish the contact, but just be aware, send out a little thought form or reach in that direction, as it were, and maybe a couple of periods during the day for an even longer time. Just,
you got to think too. Here's something else I was thinking about. If these beings can pick up your thought forms, which he's saying that they can, if these beings can pick up your thought forms, then there's a likelihood that while you're sleeping or as you go to sleep, everything we think about, and I mean everything, just think about this. There's astral beings everywhere that are picking up on that. Be careful what you think about as you're falling asleep.
Spend a few moments
That's you,
again, reaching
Howard.
in that direction is the sense I get, to keep the channel open and clear.
Good. We appreciate this kind of coordination with them. Can you find out from them something more about the purposes of their interest in us? We're pretty clear about our interest in them, but we don't know very much about their interest in us. Can you ask about that?
I got a sense that we might be in some ways surprised if we could see it from their own perspective, that they certainly have a better overall grasp of what the purpose is than we do, but that they, again, from our own perspective, if we were in their shoes, we could relate it to how we are here, is that they realize their overall purposes and objectives, and they have a better understanding of it. It's like a moving on or a joining of energies, but it's not something that they fully comprehend either. They just know that it's desirable, it's a way to move, but it's that if we can all help each other understand from our different perspectives, that there'll be a more complete joined energy, which would be beneficial to all of us.
Yes, and are they completely in the dark apart from these two contacts and maybe other explorer type contacts? Unaware of the limited reality that we exist in?
Exactly, right?
The forms of our limitation?
So, Sir Wolf made a good point. He said there could be human egregores, incarnate souls, evil entities, tricksters, clowns. It could be anything out there that you're talking to. That's the way I look at it, too, man.
The limitations are from our perspectives, not theirs. We're the ones who think we have these limitations. They don't see that at all. We're maybe more, I guess, since that this is not just it's going on in other places here on physical Earth to some limited extent. Maybe not as a cleaner contacts, but it's not just the physical Earth. There are other physical realities where they're making similar contacts. We here are not exclusive in seeing ourselves as limited when we're really not, but we're probably some of the worst of the lot.
All right. Earlier on, it was mentioned something about two outside energies that were working with something here. Do you have any more about that?
Two outside. I'm not clear on what you're saying. If you're asking about the energy that helps power their laboratory, as it were, their technology, it's like more like at least three main sources. They come
That's
in
freaking.
sort of.
They got laboratories.
For lack of better terms, relatively, they sort of come from above, but on different. They're all skew lines. They're not parallel. They don't intersect. They're skew lines of again, just of light beams, of energy beams that are flattened on the sides, so maybe like 6 sides, like a crystal, white, a whitish light, but it's sort of also smoky in a way, a swirling to it. The source of that So that's one of the bigger. They're much more aware of the source of that sort of energy, but it's even a little beyond them. They have a much better understanding of it than I can understand right now. But they see it as another contact for them, working on another level, doing similar things to what we're doing here on yet another level.
Yeah, just one moment. I'm getting a question here being given to me. Are there any other entities involved in this particular contact between us?
Yes. That. Well, in this particular contact, I get that there are other entities of other levels, entities that are, some are more similar to us, some are more similar to them in terms of whether it be perception of abilities or whatever, but there's more than one group that's trying to pull all this together. I mean, they're making this contact with us, as are others, and there are all kinds of cross contacts going on, and not to mention the sources from even beyond that are kind of helping the whole process.
Okay, I'd like to go to the question of experiment and future contacts with them. Do they have in their energy sources available, any types of energy they could use that would be in some way a manifestation in the physical world we live in, if we had it in a completely non-interfering format?
Main thing I perceive is that anything strictly physical, they could maybe help us through some ideas or concepts that would not necessarily be planted, but anything physical would have to come from our end. That they and others are sending these signals all the time. It's just a matter of us opening up to them, perceiving them, learning different ways of perceiving.
Yes, well, we're getting them mainly in an area that results in a reporting by a channel, an explorer, a being here, an entity who is acting as a transmitter or an interpreter, transcriber, and transmitter through the subjective avenues.
What is it with this world and this whole thing, right? Like, we can't get a damn, when people videotape aliens or Bigfoot, we can't get a clear shot. Everything's blurry. When we go out a body and do conscious exploration, we can't get a clear answer. It's like being on acid. We can never get any clear information here, constantly.
What if we had a very sensitized roll of film, of a particular kind of film, in a sealed, away from light, but would react to certain kinds of light rays? Do they have any energy that would be able to demonstrate that sort of thing for us?
I get that could be a good possibility, or something worth trying. Something else I was picking up on, it's somehow that even though much of what they work with is what we report back as light, that sometimes it translates as well or easy or physically into sound, and that if there was some, I get that we really don't quite have all the technical information we need to know here, but it would be possible to build a receiver where they could more or less speak to us directly. I don't get quite right now. It might have to start out in the form of a code, like a binary code or something like that, but then,
oh Jesus,
as we got more proficient, anyhow, that it could end up, the same device could be improved upon to actually translate things into, I don't quite get words, but something like that, something we can really understand.
Well, any systematic patterns would be workable. Can you ask if they know that we already have equipment that we could? It's existing equipment is what I'm talking about.
That was my understanding when I first got it, is that we do not have the existing equipment. It's a matter of we need to find new ways to measure or receive. I sort of get like that from our perspective they would be subtle frequencies, but they're not as subtle as we think. They're just ones that we haven't considered yet, just as frequencies like X-rays and things like that were around before we developed ways to perceive them. And it's a similar sort of thing we just need to develop. We don't have the instrumentation developed yet that's sensitive enough, and sensitive's not the right word either, that just sees in that spectrum, or hears in that spectrum, or can pick up those frequencies.
But it's definitely related to the sound wave phenomenon.
Well, to me, it's coming to me in a mixture of sound, light. It's all waveforms that, in many ways, it's all the same thing anyhow. It's just how we're choosing to perceive it.
Well, would it be related to our most recent interminglings of laser light beams and sound production?
The main concept I get, it's more, and it's definitely, from what I understand, very far from this, but a better analogy perhaps would be like a radio telescope.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like we've gone way overboard with the radio telescopes beamed out into space to pick up physical sound signals, and that we could build a device much smaller, something that could... There's something odd about this, right? Like Zaya Bonanza makes a good point. Any systematic patterns would be useful. Like if an alien species came down here and we started talking to it, forget the movie Contact or whatever. This is not a bad movie, but we would figure out how to talk to it by now. And there's countless audio files of this from the late 70s, 80s, and 90s, and we can't communicate with these entities, at least on some kind of language level. There's lots of variables here, though. Don't get me wrong, okay? There's a ton of variables. There's a ton of different explorers. Everybody has a different filter in their brain when they explore consciousness. Not only that, not everybody is doing the same methods. There's a ton of variables. I get that. But we got to find something consistent here, like anything. Fit basically on a tabletop that could pick up signals in it, and not to direct them out to outer space or anywhere, just sort of, it should have an omnidirectional pickup, is what I get, because it doesn't come from any physical source, those vibrations or frequencies. It's, again, right now, I get that it's more analogous to what we perceive as sound versus light. I mean, that's the way it translates into the physical.
It doesn't sound as if it would be susceptible to something with the use of magnetic tapes, magnetic metals or alloys. Or maybe it is.
If the receiver is built right to pick up the right frequencies, that there would be nothing that would interfere with it, be it metal or magnetic fields or anything like that. I mean, it's there anyhow. It's just a matter of devising the physical device that could record these frequencies or waves.
Well, I'm struggling with the question of the combination of light and sound. And we have to record on something, onto some material, something. It might be that some way they get sound on film through light waves would be better than the magnetic tape approach.
Like I said, either way would be fine, but I got almost something like that it would, for our perceptions at first, something more along the lines even of a printout, like a computer graph printout or something, would be easier to kind of take in the whole picture at once and see the patterns, because it's not time oriented, or it's like to listen to a tape you'd have to listen to it and listen to it and listen to the patterns and go back and forth. But if it were if we could translate these into like a printout or a graph, that we could readily see the patterns and begin to understand the language, as it were.
When they give us the notion of sound wave, are they meaning what we do mean by the sound range frequencies, like we think in terms of 30 to 3,000 hertz or higher frequencies that we don't even work with, modulated down to within our range?
This is a little perhaps beyond me, but I get something like we don't need to go to either end of any frequency. It's like we need to look between the frequencies we already can perceive. It's like interwoven, or it's like carrier waves or side bands, but that's really not exactly the right.
So what they're talking about is making ET, like extraterrestrial contact. That's what it sounds like to me. So communicating with these entities are telling them that it's not the frequencies, it's some other thing, like whatever language that we use inside of this radio wave that we're sending out is how we could communicate with them, which this to me makes no sense, because you're going out of body anyways. You're trying to figure this stuff out. It just sounds overcomplicated. Think about it. Like, it doesn't matter even if they don't have a language. If any alien race or entities, maybe they don't have physical bodies, I don't know, but they would be able to at least do ones and zeros or on and off with us. Like, it doesn't have to be this damn complex, I don't think.
You're saying it, but it's like that they're in the interstices of the frequencies that already exist. Maybe like it's like if we saw a line drawing of a sound wave just in 2 dimensions, that what we need to look for is the sound wave, if it were laid flat on a table before you, the sound wave that's coming at you from the 3rd dimension. It's sort of hard to explain, but it's like we see it traveling in one straight line without realizing that there are other types of sound waves or waveforms or energies that run parallel to that run skew to that run directly perpendicular to it, that there's all kinds of, it's a matter of just of realizing that there are sort of like there's sound within the sound, or other ways of, it's like approaching it from a different angle, or looking at it, adding another dimension to our perception of the frequencies.
Okay, well, they may know a great deal more about us than I might think that they do as a result of their ability to maximize the potential of the contacts we've already had.
Oh, come on.
Ask them if on the basis of what they know, if there's someone in our immediate group attached to the laboratory of the new land and our connections, somebody who has the capability of approaching this problem of constructing what we need.
I get that it's like something that is very possible, that there's somebody that
It's possible.
in like a large, nobody here directly right now has the technical background or the equipment or anything like that to begin to approach such a device, but that maybe one of the major research laboratories in this country, and shortly is going to, there'll be like some serendipity findings that would indicate the potential for this device, but they aren't going to recognize it. That if somebody who's looking for something like that could get hold of that information, or the findings that are going to come out of this research, things would go a lot faster. I don't get a sense of who should be doing the looking, or what lab or anything like that, but there's a good likelihood that the right individual will see this information or these findings that somebody else just thought were interesting but didn't see any application for them. Somebody else will take that and could work with that.
All right, well, we'll be patterning for this contact, for such a person to be brought to us. You might ask them to join us in this intent in whatever ways are available through their system.
Well, yeah, we have to do the radio station thing. Thank you guys for listening on the radio station. I can see you and whoever you are. It's probably not exact, but we got listeners in Indiana, Michigan, Kansas, somewhere around Dallas and Louisiana, also L.A., Saskatchewan, some people over in Europe. Thank you guys for listening to the station tonight. We do have to take a break to cover our music license, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. I think I'm going to switch over to this one was about interdimensional communication, right? Making ET contact. How do we do that? How do we communicate? But it gets so complex that it gets ridiculous sometimes. And then sometimes it's pretty simple. As far as the validity of it is concerned, unless I run across, I'm just going to be honest with you, unless I run across a Thomas Campbell tape, I don't know who these other people are. Oh, there was something else I was going to mention too. Beasy was talking about that crazy German guy that we were listening to the other night. Actually, he tried to undermine Robert Monroe. He went to court, and I'm still digging about this, but that guy, that creepy guy that was talking last show, he, at the end, he tried to undermine Robert Monroe's hemisync, I believe, overseas. But until I get all my facts straight about that, I'll have a report for that. But when we come back, we're going to get into a audio from April 11th, 1986, that one of the explorers is going to talk about archaeological digs and visuals, a mysterious location with unidentified speakers, and a mysterious journey with a group, guided meditations and space travel, and a mysterious utilitarian place with physical sensations. So that might be pretty rad, you know, once we see what that's about. might not be so blurry. I don't know. Be worth exploring. You're listening live here on Fringe.fm, the coolest digital station on the planet, as well as Lighting the Void Live. Lighting the Void Live here on YouTube. And we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
Hey, this is country music singer and void walker Jason Benoit, and when I need my fix on the world of magic and the capabilities of the human consciousness, I listen to Joe Roop right here on Lighting the Void Radio.
Hi, this is Kronox from Belgium, and you're listening to Lighting the Void with Joe Roop.
Hey, this is No Way Jose, a Northern California Piscean stuck in the Arizona desert. I'm a void walker, and I got the shoes to prove it. So what do I do when my soul yearns to delve deep into the realm of the unknown? I aim my satellite straight into the night sky and catch a smooth ride on the KTLK-DB radio waves. I tune into Lighting the Void with Joe Roop on the Fringe FM.
Joe, Lighting the Void is the best show on the planet. This is Barney, your friend from Facebook. Thank you and all the crew for all you do. Namaste, my friend.
This is Macon from the foothills of North Carolina, and I am a void walker.
G'day, void walkers. This is Lily from down under Australia. The world may be small, the enigma is greater. So let your curiosity take you for a journey with Joe Roop.
Hey, this is V, coming in from Central Maryland, and I am a void walker.
This is Kevin Doherty, a beginner void walker. I'm from Vancouver, BC. I know a little about a lot, and as Leonard Skinner said, I'll guess the rest. I learned a lot from Mr. Roop in the show, and heard it from the beginning. I knew right then he was going to be a new Art Bell. Thanks for all your shows, and keep it up.
Hey, this is Derek from Mass, aka the Night Stalker, and I'm a void walker.
This is Mark from Chicago, and I walk the void to ascertain what is consciousness.
My name is Jared Johnson, and I'm from Humboldt County, California. I do not know all the answers to the questions about reality. I do not claim to know the ultimate truth about life. I seek that which has been made hidden as a part of a family of explorers of consciousness. I'm a void walker. Thanks, Joe Roop.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on, and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Broadcasting from Forest Tower Studios, all the way from the Deep South. Now, here is your host,
One's
Joe
lights,
Root.
another's paradise of unpolished gems plucked from the dollar bins. Dust mites are crawling in. Don't put me in the box with them. I need oxygen so I can say my like an extended olive limb. When the public square turned into a coliseum, the plans to opt out the panopticon, buy a plot of land, reduce the Babel Tower to a pile of sand, and find a portal to the time before the father man. It all began, so I'm told, with the sound. Then along came a rogue out to steal the king's crown. Eyes on the summit, trying to become it. Fire in the stomach, pride before the plummet. All the true progress to offset his aims is now empty platitudes and cosmetic change.
All right.
The priests traded in their black robes for white lab coats, sniffing out dissent from the
Welcome back to Lighting the Void Live. I gotta say, we got some pretty cool projects in the works for the station, for the Fringe FM. But stuff takes time, takes planning brick by brick, but we're working on some stuff here. If you can, please support the Fringe FM. We constantly need support. I promise you, if we get a substantial goal, right? Like I won't. The only reason why we have to play those certain commercials is so that we can keep our music licensing. But if we got enough support, we would only play like as far as the radio station is concerned, just our promos and stuff. But man, what else was I going to say? There was something else I was supposed to promote tonight, and it totally slipped my mind. But yeah, just stay tuned. Around I want to say October or so, we've got plans for something pretty big that's coming out. For the Fringe FM. I just don't have an exact date yet. And it's going to be a new thing. Something we've never done before on this station. The station's been here since 2016. So, yeah. All right. So this one is an audio file from the Monroe Institute from, let's see, what's the date again? April 11th, 1986. Apparently, these explorers made contact, and something about, I have no idea, something about an archaeological dig and visuals. I haven't listened to this at all, I promise you. It's just titled this, A Mysterious Location with Unidentified Speakers. A mysterious journey with a group. And then it gets into like space travel. If we get that deep into it, we'll see. I mean, hopefully this one will make a little bit more sense than the other one, right? I'm hoping. Yeah. Let's see. Hopefully I picked the right one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. So that should be track 4 from the Explorers Project.
Lift off from either side, make sure you...
Repeat that this is 1615 AUB7 with Mike in the booth, April 11th, 86. You have a presence before we even do affirmation.
Yeah, it's pretty strong, but go ahead and go through your stuff.
Well, all I was going to do was to introduce the sound, and you help me adjust it.
Okay.
And wait a minute, I haven't said it quite right.
Is that Robert Monroe talking, doing that, or what?
Okay, now we have that, and this is, for the record, the frequency here is the Delta 225 without any pink in it, which we're using as a signal when we ask to be taken, when Mike asks to be taken to CD120. You ready for the sound?
Yes.
Any louder?
A little bit.
Howard says if I go silent, it means I went to sleep.
That feels balanced.
Yeah.
In both ears.
See if we get past these damn sound checks.
Fine. Ears are all quiet. And I just want you to do what you do.
Okay.
And know that I'm waiting till I hear from you. And if I don't hear from you, I will be wondering if the presences are still with you that you mentioned before we started.
They are, and I think it's my usual one, so I'm just going to go explain to them and then go past them, if that's okay.
Yes, fine.
These, there's some strong energies. There's actually more than one with me. I haven't been able to leave them, but I seem to be taking them with me. I'm heading towards a pinpoint of light out in a darkness, semi-darkness.
Well, how many of these companions do you think you have with you?
Possibly 3. One very strong, bright one.
Well, I should have known there'd be 3. When I think of who Mike and I really are, I say, well, we're friends of the friends, whatever that means. And they taught us this law of the 3 in the triangle.
There goes Martin again.
What's up, Dan?
Well, I'm with you. That's the trip we're taking together. You can know my presence is there, and you don't need my voice.
Okay.
So these entities are taking him somewhere. Only God knows where. God, I gotta fix this freaking green screen, man.
We're getting much more closer to it. It's getting fairly big. I perceive it now as a it was like a jagged white, not quite a sphere, but it was a round shape, but very jagged, no smooth edges. And it seems to, as I get closer, turned into
Are you getting paralyzed? Are you getting sleepy? I mean, Howard? We should have Howard call in once he starts
more sphere shape, more round,
seeing stuff.
Although it's as though it's opening up to me, and nice pattern to it. Very geometric, I guess is the word. Very precise looking.
Can you associate a purpose with it?
Well, this is my picked destination, so I believe this is CD 120. as far as let me focus on it now some, and let's see what I can get more. I feel that I am inside of it. Again, I get this sense of roundness around the outside. Still very light inside, as though everything is white, except there was something in front of me that was a black-shaped object that very small.
Can you tell what the object is? Can you go closer to it and examine it?
Just report as I'm going along. It appears to be something that has to do with I would liken it to a telescope in one sense, that when I focus on it, I see a distant I don't know if reality is another word, but it's a distant space from here, and it's as though they are or through this that you can perceive elsewhere.
And are you getting a sense of why this is being shown to you? You know the kinds of questions that we have covered, and we are seeking to put our thoughts with their thoughts, and ask them to give us any contact in any way they can around our desire and their desire to move in unison and concert in some way. We feel a sense of urgency when we think about the possibilities involved, and we would like to do it as soon as possible. We're working on it. See if you get any response to those thoughts.
I think you tend to scatter me too far. I was getting something on part of it, and then you go on. So if you can be specific on anything, then I will see what I can get on that.
I think this guy just told Robert Monroe to be quiet or be specific. Did he not? In like a nice way.
All right, we're still focused on our desire for an experimental design involving some improvement in our communications with them, and we haven't yet come up with something in this light form and the sound form that they say is possible for us to do. If there's any help they can give us about the light form, electric form, instrumentation, or the black box on the table. That's specific.
Okay. Martin, they've given me something which I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to interpret it. It's basically was almost like a blueprint, only not in the way we think of blueprints as far as a mechanical device. This was a blueprint in the way that we see them, as blue with black and with white lines. And it was showing me a wave line and some other patterns. It was a moving blueprint too that it moved to project something to me. How's that for an answer?
Well, the process of developing a blueprint is very rapid, and it's one I know very little about, but there may be a relationship between the actuality of the blueprint, suggesting the process by which it's changed, and the waveform that's shown to you. If we could...
Is this the right damn audio? I'm sorry, but this...
of the waveform that would reflect it accurately.
I feel like I've been clickbaited here. One, two, three, four.
Do you think you could make such a sketch on your return?
I'm reviewing it again. I'm not sure if I got the whole thing because of my reporting, so I'm going to check it again.
Fine.
Supposed to be something about visuals of an archaeological dig. He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything like that, did he?
Well, Martin, I don't really want to get into analyzing this, but I'll just report it and we can go on. It seems to have something to do with pyramids.
All right. We're making notes and recording this.
Yeah, well... That's all I have to say on that.
All right, that's fine. See, we will deal with it
okay.
As it comes along. I think what I'm getting is that we're being told something, that we can begin to utilize. I'm turning you loose now.
Okay, would you like me to dive into that more and see if I can get more out of it?
That might be. What I'm getting is that if we can understand the process of light in the production of a blueprint and utilize a particular waveform that they were showing you to come.
You're coming through, Howard. I don't know why it didn't ring. I got your voicemail, but let's see. You guys want to hear the voicemail? Let's see. Hold on.
Hello, Joe. Am I coming through?
You're coming through, man. It just didn't ring. Like, I didn't see you.
I'm not sure if I'm coming through or not.
Just go crazy. Somebody else call the station and see if my phone's broke. Will you? 501-777-5631. It didn't pop up. Like, it didn't ring. But I got the voicemail. I don't know why it's going straight to voicemail. What a fucking nightmare. Callers are the best part of the show, too. You know what I mean? Jesus.
Combined with that process, that we might be, coming on target with the experiment that we're asking for. If somebody down here can have that skill, and I'm sure that they do, and we can talk to them about it, and somebody will make a connection. I think this would be what Bob would see in it, but that's just neither here nor there. Let's see what we get.
Okay.
Well, that worked.
Yeah, that worked.
Well, I don't know why yours worked and his didn't.
I don't know. You heard it ring?
No, I have it to where I'm supposed to be able to hear it ring, but it's not doing it. I don't know why. You're probably getting feedback too when you're talking, but sorry about that. But yeah,
that's okay.
I hope it didn't cost him any money to call from wherever.
I didn't notice an accent. I just wanted to hear an accent from Norway.
Yeah, maybe you can call back, and maybe I just didn't see it pop up, but I got it up now.
Okay.
But it's supposed to ring in my damn ear when it calls, so yeah, I don't know. Thanks, my Cherie, for calling, though. Call back, bro. I'll put you to sleep. I'll hypnotize you live on the air if you call back. Make you go to sleep. What, do you got insomnia or something? My Cherie's got a nice voice. I bet she could put you to sleep. She's got a sweet voice. What's up, Jen? You slinging drinks? Thanks for calling, my Cherie. I appreciate that.
Mike?
Yes?
Well, I don't want to interrupt you, but the thought has been entered in here that as you're moving along, if you have an opportunity to focus on the telescope again, or if you feel like you'd like to do that.
Oh, there we go. You know what it is?
Look through it and see what they're showing us.
You're probably going to get some feedback.
Am I coming through?
Yeah, you're coming through.
I just didn't now, Joe.
I didn't see it pop up.
Yeah.
Sorry. What time is it where you are, dude? Why are you not sleeping? What's going on?
It's probably insomnia. Yeah. It's like 6 a.m. Yeah.
From Norway, huh?
My brain is yeah.
How long has it been since you slept last?
I'll fall asleep, but eventually, and then I'll wake up in the middle of the day. Being kind of unemployed is I can have the luxury to have a fucking fucked up sleep schedule, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what helps you sleep, man?
I mean, drugs,
Like just regular sleeping pills, or what kind of drugs you taking?
Nah, just weed, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't get what is those sleeping pills everybody gets?
Yeah, right.
I can't think of the name of it right now. I think I'm getting dementia, man. I'm losing my freaking mind when it comes to remembering stuff. But my buddy used to call me on those things. Like he would sleep talk or sleepwalk and then forget all about it. Those pills, whatever those are.
I have no idea, but yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Oh, but sometimes I'll be, kind of worried about like in the future. I'm 30, so I'm like, I don't feel crazy yet, but I wonder sometimes about, how much you can like skip out on sleep through your life and just,
3 days, bro.
Be fine, or
3 days. Back in my speed days when I used to take methamphetamine, 3 days. 3 days.
God damn. Yeah.
3 days is all I could do. Then I'd start seeing purple hues and laughing like a giggle box until I had to go to sleep.
I mean, that's happened, but that was just, what was that? Was that 2 days? No, it was 80 hours, I think. But, being like, just being stoned as fuck and realizing that I haven't slept and just like kind of going crazy, like, oh shit. And then, yeah. But I mean, it's kind of interesting, the idea of like going crazy. It's like the concept itself, like, because I'll have that sometimes, but then I'll reel myself back in and be like, oh shit. Yeah, like I am pretty sane, but I entertain the idea of like, what
going
is
crazy?
What is crazy? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I'll let you get back to
crazy is when you start doing crazy shit that's not normal and it doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
That's when you're crazy.
And it doesn't exactly. Yeah, it doesn't bother you.
Yeah, if you're outside, like just shooting animals for the fun of it, because you're bored.
Yeah,
bro, you're 30 years old, man. When I was 30 years old, I wasn't even thinking about any of this stuff, man. I was chasing girls.
I guess like I had like a pretty not rough, but like pretty eventful 20s, like just partying and just being done with that shit and being like, now I'm 30, now I have to like grow up, kind of, in my head it's like that, but
you're supposed to,
you have like people who are 50 years old and 60 years old and they're like still, doing that shit.
I'm 42 and I'm prone to party sometimes. Like, I don't think I'm going to. I really don't think I'm going to, because it's whatever. I don't even feel like chasing girls, partying, doing none of that stuff anymore. However, if I was caught in the right room and then there was coke all over the table and some rave music going, and I might give in every now and then.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I don't want to do, like, I'm 42 and I'm big too. So sometimes I lay around thinking, I could have a heart attack at any point in time right now. Just any moment.
Right.
That's not stuff to be thinking about, like, man.
Yeah. But it's like, I guess I kind of, partying pretty much from being like 19 to basically feels like just a couple of years ago when I stopped. And it was pretty, you kind of wear that thin, and it's like, how much do I, and I just had to stop. And then, getting into this stuff, right, and getting into like esotericism and getting into like just philosophy in general kind of puts you in a different mental state.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm not
I thought about reading
that stuff anymore, man.
Yeah, I thought about reading. I've been getting back into Eliphas Levi lately, right? And I was like, man, I should be reading this stuff on the air. This is good stuff, you know. But a lot of people aren't into it. But listen, before you go, have you had an out of body experience? Like, have you slipped out of your body yet?
I have twice, but they were like the first time was 4 years ago, and it was just like, okay, so how do I don't think I did it on purpose. Like I wasn't trying to do it, but and it was just like I was in my room, hovering, kind of like floating on the floor, kind of like. And I looked up and I saw the bed, and I just like, I've just fallen out of the bed, like. But then I like realized that I could float some, and it was just weird as fuck, man. And then I just floated back into my body because I was just freaking out. Yeah. And then after that, it was, I freaked out and I didn't want to do it again, kind of. And I got into this stuff, been doing some shamanic practices where I got into like an ecstasy, that felt kind of like an out of body, but in the body, right? Just like kind of lost my mind, like in this trance state, kind of. But that was nothing compared to out of body. But so then the second time was I tried to do it like intentionally, and then I didn't go I didn't go far. I didn't do anything. I just stayed in the room, kind of like anxious, kind of like, I don't know if I should push this, So I just went back into like a fucking coward. Fucking
That's kind of what I did, man.
Just went back into my body.
Yeah. Well, look, I'll make a deal with you. I think you need to sleep. So what we'll do is I'll broadcast this until I see that you haven't chatted, until you're asleep. Is this stuff putting you to sleep? Is it working?
I mean, yeah. You got to get some rest, man. It's good for you. Yeah, it's not. It is kind of what it is, but it's not something that is dangerous, kind of like worrying me to the extreme. But I fall asleep when I fall asleep, and I catch sleep back, so it's not like I go without sleep too much.
Sure.
So but yeah, thank you for humoring me. Just rambling, dude. Just like out of my mind right now.
I don't broadcast on Monday nights most of the time anyway, so I'm doing this because like I did that Monroe thing, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, and I had plenty of time. So
yeah.
I'll try to broadcast these Monroe tapes until Cherie or somebody tells me that you're probably asleep, and then we'll cut it.
Yeah. Just keep going, man. Just keep going, man. Yeah, and keep doing what you're doing, right? Just the things you've been saying, and like should I be doing this stuff, right? Stuff like that. Yeah, man. Just keep doing it because people are listening, and like it matters to people just hearing stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, right on. I definitely will.
I'll fall asleep. I'll fall asleep to this. So yeah, just keep going, man.
All right, definitely.
Thank you.
Later, brother.
Yeah, man. All right. Thank you.
No problem. There's Howard from Norway, right? There's rest and peace throughout all situations. Yeah. So I'm going to find it. Yeah, we'll just, you know what? I might fall asleep while this thing's broadcasting live. My bed's right there. I'll just hit play and we'll just, whatever, man. ASMR all night. Let's do it.
Well, as the when I did look through it before, it was like scanning space, that type, and into it came it picked up some movement, and the movement was an energy, or I don't know what label to put on it, but I'll leave that on it. Fairly bright, fairly moving, fast, almost what would be considered almost like a comet, but not, that's not really. And that's when I started reporting and kind of drifted from it. Seems that when I report, I black out as far as everything I'm perceiving, and I have to go quiet again to get the perceptions usually. Sometimes not.
All right, we'll try to keep the interruptions brief.
Okay, what would you like?
Talking brief.
Oh, that's okay. It doesn't matter when you're talking unless you. Sometimes I can tune you out.
Problem is like I thought we were going to go find an archaeological dig, and some beings were going to take us to this dig site, and then we were going to go to outer space. I clicked on the corresponding track, and so far, I don't think we're there yet.
But what would you like me to go into? Which direction?
Well, first I would like to know if you have had at all a sense of a source that you can ask questions of and receive answers from.
Okay, I got a sense earlier when the thought came into my mind about looking for something around here along that, and I got a sense that there were, so I do believe I can find someone.
Oh, very good. We will wait.
Although time is a pretty abstract thing. Basically about our perception on how their time goes. It's just basically our perception as far as if we think of speed or whatever, that is, and it's just our perception. I am getting
this can't be right.
I'm not getting anything exact though, as I'm getting more of a non-existence in a time as we think of it, although there is a sequence of events and so forth. It's just that well, I got that far and then they were showing me something else, or along, I don't know if it's along the same lines or what. I was they seem to be able to move, and I was wondering if they could judge time by their movement or whatever in various places, and then they were showing me a grid, and with various other bright spots on the grid, in which they could I didn't really get to that. That brought in other things. I started getting scattered after that, so
It's a really, really abstract area. When we're talking about sequence of events and movement, our own mental systems boggle at the thought of sequence without a before and after, and the before and after gets us locked into a time flow.
Yes, I'm getting that is their time flow, is that this sequence of events well, actually, this is I was going to say would determine their time flow as to the direction they moved into, but that would only be from my perception. They say that this isn't true.
Mm-hmm.
So it's as though they're not clear on it either. That's almost what I'm getting. I've run into other time things with other energies, and I've had a stronger sense of knowing from them than I do from here. So I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. It could be that that they are in the process of developing time in their stage, or speeding it up or something. They sound very, very slow moving in the sense of if we use years, like it takes them one day to do what we think of as a 50-year thing. So they have to, in our terms, be moving very, very slowly or with rapidity that we can't even think about. They're dealing with something other than we're dealing with in the consciousness area.
They don't look upon us as in that direction as that being a true statement.
All right. They don't see us as more advanced than they are in any way.
No.
It's our tendency to see them as much, much more advanced than we are, and maybe you can get a response to that.
You can't compare like that. Their our realities are different. There's no scale for comparison.
Okay, that's probably the focus of our difficulty, or focus of our assignment with them.
Yeah, well, I'm torn between two. In that question, it's as though there's two separate things here, and I can go on theirs and see their reality, or I can go on ours and see ours and our perception of ours, and basically I guess I'm seeing our perception of theirs, or my perception, and they don't intermesh. There's no likeness or whatever.
Well, if you can go in and describe it at the same time, that would be a real gift for us to receive with you. If you can't verbalize it, you could describe it when you come out. But do you want to go into that? Does it feel right for you to do?
Well, it may take some time. As far as that goes. especially to get a handle on theirs. Ours, and although I've dealt with ours before, the thing about ours is that the old Martin, I know you've heard this, but it's we're perceiving our illusion, and we're not perceiving it accurately, or we're not perceiving the energies accurately, so that to look at our world from a C1 state, or from I'll say normal state, normal worldly state is the illusion. And I mean, it gets deeper and deeper. I could get bogged down in this, but then as far as the comparison part of it, or just to look at the two, you have to back away from that and see the energies of ours, and then which is completely different than the way we think of it. But I know you have a good understanding of this, or of some, from dealing with it so much in the lab. And so that, from that perspective, is what I'm looking at as ours. I'm not looking at it as a regular C1 state. And so I can dive into theirs if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
And try to get a handle on that.
Mm-hmm. That would be fine. We can remain your link and take us with you to whatever extent you can.
Okay, I'll give this a shot.
Where are we going?
Or something.
One of the possible problems is turbulence in the lab here. We got to talking out of interest.
Well, I was getting it then, because I just got this center thing with a lot of swooshing going around it, tremendous bouncing back and forth and stuff. So.
Yeah. I just stirred up the energy in here by saying that we've never had a good description from the inside, and it would be just a delight to have one. And we were chattering about that, right? the different realities that I've tried, and we'll just focus on where we are right now in the present.
Yeah, he laughs like Eddie Murphy's from Beverly Hills Cop.
We'll calm ourselves down here. You're in the present. It's our job to stay there.
We got to clip that.
I'll put a direction on me, and I'll see if I can home into whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, the CD lab direction is the principal focus here, and the telescope, and what the telescope might reveal. You have to use the telescope to go through, or to look through.
Okay.
What are they doing? Flipping the tape?
I get that it is just a scanner. It doesn't seem to be very I won't put it very important, but not as they don't seem to be wanting to deal with it too much. That's just what I'm getting. It's been showed to me once, and no interest in that yet.
Okay, well, you might focus then more intensely upon the emotional channels, or the visual channels are not going to be given for our experience of their reality, it seems. So anything that you can hear through any other channels, and you know your apparatus better than I. But our intent was to dive into their reality and see what we could see, and going through the telescope is not working us. You do it your way.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you a while ago if you were having any fun in this place.
It's been work.
Yeah. Well, the fun element is part of what we're wanting to focus.
That was a joke, Martin. Jesus.
Oh, I'm that old serious fellow,
Well, these people are pretty serious, though.
Well, jack them up a little.
Yeah. It was. Does anybody know any good jokes?
Mike, before you get lost in too much playing around, ask the question here: if the CD120 is aware of our keeping our part of the agreement, aware of the explorers that have gone out this week, apart from what we have received, can you ask that question and get a yes or a no in whatever form?
Oh, I think I've already got an affirmative to that.
Okay. Just wanted to get that on the records for us. And would you like me just to turn you loose now and wait to hear from you?
Turn them loose. Turn them loose.
And just ride a while?
Yes.
All right. Hey, Mike, we have another interruption. Sorry. The group of serious energies that you were relating to, I got the feedback impression that you would just as soon move on, talk to somebody else. But we have an interest here in the subject matter of the discussion. If you got any feel for that, and if you don't have, could you do it?
Well, the discussion is going back and forth about this communications link with them, and that they're wondering how serious we are about it. And that's something I'm picking up, but I'm also getting something as though I'm wondering how serious they are about it. It's as though differences are showing.
There's a question wanting to be asked by Jim. Okay.
Mike,
Yeah.
would you tell them that some of us are very serious about this link and establishing it and keeping it in operation? And some of us are putting a lot of energy into this. And we'd be grateful if they continued to be interested.
Yes, yes. We're getting amens all around the room for this. We understand, I understand.
Wait, who's the lady?
And your purpose?
Our purpose is not a frivolous purpose.
Our purpose is knowledge.
Our purpose is knowledge. Our purpose is
And joining
knowing
with them.
and joining and supporting and allowing
Receiving.
and to know, to allow and to know.
Please.
Seems to have brightened everybody up here.
Sorry for the delay, friend.
It's a blue moon of new blue moon of Aquarius right now.
There's a much better feeling now.
That sounds fine. Jim is going to take my role on here for a bit with you. I'll listen in, and it's okay with you.
Fine.
All right.
Mike?
Yes.
Please send them my greetings as one of the group of explorers and people here connected with this experiment of joining with them, and our gratitude that they're still receiving us and willing to share with us. We are working together on this, and will continue to do so. Anything that they could share with us will be gratefully received. If we have a momentary lack in communication from our ignorance or from their ignorance, we'll still be working towards it. Please express that to them.
It's already done.
They're feeling a bit happier now?
I am.
What's just happened?
Do you get a sense, Mike, that there is anything they would like to share with us today, or anything that they would like us to share with them today?
Well, they it's completely changed the mood up here, and that.
I knew I should have been doing this earlier.
Oh no, it's just that we just got into it.
Yeah.
And they've are it's kind of though something has been straightened out and a better understanding right now about that.
Is there room for me to pass on a message to them here?
Sure.
Would you tell them that through...
It just goes right through me.
Okay, I'm just going to speak directly to them then at CD120. Through our contact with you, this has enabled me to come to an understanding that I know what I am is what you are, and that we are one. Our manifestation is different, and we come to a joining to know we are one, that what I am and what you are one, and our joy in this knowing, in this understanding, will become greater.
Howard, wake up.
Much gratitude to you.
there is an acknowledgement, and a sense of the connection, I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Would you extend through them our greetings to the other life forms and energies that are also sharing in this joining, that are also coming together, finding means to come together to understand each other, that they are working for this end as we are, and again gratitude for their interest in this.
Gratitude. Yeah, ma'am, I think he's asleep.
Well, that tended to spread things out a bit.
In what way?
Because you're talking, when he's all tuned in, you're interrupting the guy. Let him, like, just chill out and hypnotize, you know what I mean? All right, so we still have like 46 minutes of this file, of this exploration from the Monroe Institute Explorers to play. I think Cherie put out a pretty good point. Maybe you should go look at the moon right now. It's supposed to be one of the bigger full blue moon, super moon things. Anyways, let's see if he can get back in the zone.
I just felt things just go out, spread out.
Uh-huh. Could you follow that feeling? And send our love with it.
But really, I expanded out with it, and I went way out, and it was though everything that was here, when I expanded out beyond it, turned into total darkness with one spot of light. And I've approached it. It was as though there was tremendous energy there.
Mm-hmm.
I was unable to get very, very close. I got closer and closer, but
this sounds very like my source, the energy towards my source that I experienced.
Well, it did come to my mind, although not your source.
No, not my source, our source.
But it was just tended to be labeled a source, and extreme, as though this was just a tiny opening to it.
Mm. And did you then come back into yourself from there?
Could not get close enough to it. Was putting a lot of effort in trying to get to it. So I just started reporting.
Hmm. That was nice.
I agree.
I had a strong sense of connection with you. Are you at CD 120 still?
I could go back. I feel like this is a good point to cut it.
I agree. I feel you've come away with something very beautiful. And thank you for sharing that with us here. I'm going to pass you back to Martin now, unless you want me to bring you in.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, Martin.
Yes, I'm just sitting here wondering whether I'm really willing to bring you back or not. And it seems I still must do my duty.
Yes.
I want to see him.
Well, it took a lot to say that, to want to come back.
But I must say, okay, it's time to resume. Here, Maury wants to take a vote, but I overrule him as the chairman. We've already voted. It's all been counted, and no votes are missing, and you're coming back now.
Okay.
And you'll tell me if you want the sound signal changed, or if you want to count down into C1. I'll wait to hear from you.
I can't do that.
Let's just count it back.
All right from where you are now. We'll come.
Bring back the German speed free.
I'll pull out all the sound, and I'll put in a grounding signal toward the end. If that's all right with you.
Go ahead and put it on now.
Okay.
I don't know if he's a speed.
Well, we can start to count.
Or actually, that's good enough. You can just count me back.
Just with no sound at all?
Without the sound, yeah.
That's all right. Then we're going to be fully and completely in our body and feeling totally balanced and invigorated and in harmony and shining and all the aspects in harmony and everything in harmony.
Yes.
And that's at the count of 1, and we go now to 9.
9.
8.
8.
7.
7.
Lift off.
6.
6. 5.
4.
3.
2.
1.
Who dat? Who
Blue
dat?
light, please.
Light. Which one?
Wait.
Number 3. Thank you.
Man, I didn't hear anything about an archaeological dig. Did you? Maybe I hit the wrong file. I don't know.
Yes, this is session AUG 7. This is session number 1616, the 7th session with AUG.
They're all mixed up.
And this is the 7th session with AUG JPWG, April 11th, 86. Pip is in the booth. it's a good place to remind you that you've been traveling on the homing signal given to us by CD 120, and I'll ask you how you're feeling at the moment, where you are now. What's it like? I'll relate to that a second, because the focus 10 state we have identified. Thank you, Michael. Pip?
Yep.
My buttons were in the wrong position, and I've been talking to you. Have you gotten anything I've said?
No, I had nothing at all.
That's all right. Sometimes
10 a few minutes ago.
Yes, not nearly that long. The time is quite different. I was hearing you report from the focus 10 state, the mind awake, body asleep.
Have you guys, listen, have you guys ever heard the resonant tuning before? I can play that for you guys before we get out of here. Wake up, Howard. Are you asleep? You sleeping? Howard. All right, if that don't wake him up, he's asleep. That means we've got to end the broadcast. But I want to play Holy Harmony. I want to play the resonant tuning from the Monroe Institute, if you guys have ever heard it. I don't think I'll get in trouble for it. But let's I think it's introduction to yeah. So this is an audio, because I purchased the Gateway program. This is an audio.
This is your exercise to achieve focus 10, the 10 state, where your mind remains awake and alert, and your physical body is deeply asleep.
It's in his voice is in the right ear, so if you're probably hearing it in the right speaker.
Turn your headphones around so that you are hearing my voice in your right ear.
Y'all listen to this resonant tuning, though. Hold on.
Worries, anxiety. As you inhale, breathe in.
All right, check this out. I'm sorry, Cherie. I had to test to make sure he was asleep. He's asleep. All right, y'all check this out. It's eerie sounding, right?
breathe normally and relax. Relax and breathe normally.
So when I went to, if you guys can get the Gateway experience, like even the first ones, or you could hear that they have I'll probably try to leave a link for this for you guys, the YouTube video that they have where they have this as well, right? But when I went with the Grow America crew and I did a speaking event, I laid everybody on the floor and did this resonant tuning. So what I did was, to get people out of bodies, I took some stuff from the esoteric, like magic, astral path working and stuff like that, and some stuff from what I learned from William Buellman and the Monroe Institute, and made it into one astral path working, right? Some of that stuff is in the Patreon store, but that resonant tuning, it sounds so freaking like eerie at first, but when you're relaxed, because you go through the relaxation breathing, and then you go through the inhaling energy, like pure energy of visualizing, and then exhaling the stale energy, right? And then when you do the resonant tuning, that stuff relaxes your body so freaking much. It's insane. So everybody, when they exhale, they have their own vibration, right? So I teach this too in the Patreon. Like if you're vibrating God names or whatever, if you'll have your own octave that vibrates with your body perfectly. So when you're laying down and like you're exhaling and you're just kind of like exhaling whatever, and it sounds stupid, but you'll find like this octave or frequency or whatever that just relaxes your whole body. It's almost like your identity to a certain extent, that sound wave. So if you do this enough, like if you listen to the Monroe tapes and you go through that resonant tuning enough and just keep doing that, right, what they're doing, you'll find your perfect kind of frequency on your exhale, what it sounds like. Hope I'm making sense. I'll play it one more time, then we'll get out of here. I think Howard's asleep anyway, so I told him we would go to sleep. I listen to these sometimes, like every other night, though. So he's got the ocean waves, and he's got that pulsing, kind of fluctuating sound
from your energy conversion box. As you exhale, blow out stale, used up energy.
Yeah, see, Mushri says, when I feel sick, I moan, it feels comforting. Yeah, that's why we do it. This is kind of like if a baby were doing that when they're sleeping and they're just going like that, as they breathe out. Eventually I don't know why, it just relaxes you so much, but it does. And that's where you want to get if you're going to have an out-of-body state, like experience. You're going to want to be so freaking relaxed. Almost like a cat does, like their whole body's relaxed, right? So.
And hum or sing in resonance. Begin now and set your own pattern and rhythm and complete your resonant tuning.
It's kind of eerie sounding, I know. Pretty cool.
Breathe normally and relax. Relax and breathe normally.
Pretty cool, right? All right. So now that Howard's asleep, sure he's mad at me. She's like, as I played all that, I had to make sure he's asleep. You don't know if he's listening. And then he's like, no, I'm still here. But a few like cow noises and machine guns, and he's still asleep. He's out. The rest of you, you know, I can be a little rude sometimes. So it's just me. But that's because I don't think before I speak. I'm working on it. So tonight, homework assignment, right? So here's what I'm going to do. If you have the Gateway experience, right? Listen to that tonight. At least the introduction videos. If you don't, then go to archive.org and find the Explorers Project, Expedition CD 120, audio files and transcripts. That's what we're listening to. These people are serious about, you can tell, right, that if you've listened the whole night, they're super serious about their conscious exploration. I mean, if someone says, hey, Joe, I'll pay you $100,000 a year to do nothing but go out of body, I would do it. Like, I'm sure we all would do it, but that would be like my favorite thing to do, because I was thinking about that today. I got ADD, so I got to tell you this. I was laying in bed just for a little bit, and I was listening to Alan Watts, and I like to listen to Watts in the morning. And he said, sometimes we do stuff because we think we're supposed to do it or because it pays, whatever. But if you had $1 million, or you were rich, not just $1 million, but if you were filthy rich, never had to worry about money again, what would you do? It really takes some time to think about that. Like, what would you do? And I thought, well, yeah, I know what I would do. I would probably do exactly what Robert Monroe and those guys are doing every single day. Develop my own institute, possibly, and then do maybe a radio show once a week. I go back to school, get my psychology degree, probably become a doctor or something in psychology, but do my radio show, and then the rest of the time, do this stuff. That's what I'd do. And so once you have that answer, it kind of helps you figure out what you're actually supposed to be doing. But I'm a dude. That stuff changes every cycle. Travel. See, I'd travel too. I'd like to travel. So you see what I mean? You got to really think about this stuff, because I don't want to stay in one spot while I'm doing that. I'd like to do it everywhere too. I'd like to do it everywhere. All right. We got to roll out of here. This is probably one of our longer broadcasts. Tomorrow night, regular broadcasting will keep going, but we're probably still going to do the same thing, except there'll be more talking, more discussions. Big shout out to Domex family. We love you guys. I hope everybody's enjoying that late night, beautiful moon that's out there tonight. And please go to fringe.fm and support the station as much as you can, even if it's just a few bucks. God knows we need it. Doesn't matter. And if you can't, if you're like me and you just can't, tell everybody. Check out the Fringe FM. Spread the show around. Go rate and review the show. You can leave an honest review, any review. If you hate it, say you hate it. Anything helps us. All right. Good night, guys. Love you. Sweet dreams. Night night.